Hey everyone, welcome to the desktop editor playlist where I'm gonna be mainly focusing on TypeScript, but I'll start by going over through the various panels the desktop editor provides and how to navigate through them. At any point in this playlist, if you feel that I'm going too fast, please pause the video and rewatch the section so you can get a better understanding of the topic. Also, I would highly encourage you to open the desktop editor and watch the video at the same time so you can follow along and to get better applied knowledge. And without anything further to say, let's start. First, we're gonna be creating a new map, so navigate to the top left corner and press this three bars over here and then create new world. Now that we have joined the desktop editor, let's start by looking at the hierarchy panel on the left. So the hierarchy panel shows us all of the objects and gizmos we have in our game. So in this example, when we spawn in, we automatically get a spawn point. So if we select it, left click on it, we can see it's selected in the hierarchy panel too. Over here, we have the ability to lock it. If we lock it, we won't be able to move it again. This is useful if you have a lot of objects in your scene. Let's unlock it. You could also rename it if you right click and press rename. Now let's go over through the top menu. In the top menu we have multiple sections. We have the build section. Underneath the build section we can insert shapes, we can get gizmos, and we have more things we can do. For example, let's click on the shapes and let's get a cube. And now under the system section, this is going to be more advanced topics, but we'll go over through that later. Under the scripts menu, we're gonna start using this next video to create our scripts. Over here you can create scripts by clicking create new script. You can also delete scripts, rename scripts, and more useful things. And last, for the generative AI section, it's really interesting, but we might go through that at the end of this playlist. And now let's see how we can move this object around. So you can click on it and then you're gonna see these arrows which is gonna allow you to move them around. To get the different ways you can manipulate this object, you can hover over here and select these. This one selects the object but you cannot move it. If you go over here, it's gonna show you the arrow. This is gonna be the selection tool. You also have the rotation tool, which allows you to rotate. And by the way, you can press Ctrl Z to undo. And you finally have the scale tool over here. Also note that you can use the keyboard shortcuts W, E, R, and T. Oh, not T. T is not included. Just W, E, and R to move, rotate, and scale the object, which is very useful. Now moving on to the property panel, make sure that you have an object selected first. And you're gonna see that the property panel is visible right now with the various options you can change. First, we can change the name. For example, we can call this floor. And then now over here, we can scale it flat like this. And then we can hover through the center and then drag. This is gonna scale it through all axes. And then now we can move it down. This way we have like a foundation or a floor. Okay, and in the properties panel we can set the visibility, we can set how the object reflects light, how it looks, we can set collidability, and there is a lot of useful features we're going to be going over through slowly while we work. And the last section is going to be this section over here, the asset library. Horizon provides a lot of good assets to use, so we can insert them by selecting them and grabbing them in our view. By the way, this section over here is going to be the main place we're going to view our game. This is other properties. In the generative AI, you can actually close this section since we won't be using it. This way you could have a bigger screen to view your game. And now we got this object in our game. Okay. If you want to delete an object, just press delete, or you can right click on it and delete selection. And that's all about the asset library. The asset library, there is more to it, but this is just a brief introduction to it. The console section, this is a great panel we're going to be using while coding. It helps us debug a lot of code. It's a very useful section, and you're going to learn more about it and how to use it when we do the TypeScript, when we start doing TypeScript and we start facing some issues and bugs. And that's mainly it for the desktop editor. We have also over here settings that allows us to start and stop the world. Over here you can set auto start simulation. If you turn this on, when you preview the world, which is you right click and then you press preview, it automatically starts the world. For me personally, I don't like that, so I keep these two disabled so it doesn't start or stop the word when I enter or exit, but instead I use this button over here to toggle when the word starts or when it stops. So we can press on it to start, and then now when we enter, the game already has started. And this is gonna be the main introduction for the desktop editor. Next video we're gonna start learning more TypeScript and more basics.